guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the intro video for my Project 10 uses where I pick a handful of products that I want to use 10 times each. I am doing Shop My Stashes right now. Every month I do one of those, and I am also participating in the 20 in 2020 Project Pan, which I can link that down below for you as well. And I was a little hesitant to try and throw something else in because I didn't want to have too many projects juggling in the air, because more than likely I'd drop something and I wouldn't be as effective in any of them if I tried to spread myself too thin. I really admire people who can layer like all these different projects at the same time. I don't know how they do it. I guess it's just how you wear your makeup, and if you wear it a lot every day, do really colorful looks maybe. But I feel like Project 10 uses is a little bit easier because there's less pressure and it's not as time sensitive. It's a little bit more relaxed because I'm not trying to actually hit pan in them, nor am I actually trying to finish them. That's not the goal. It's just the fact that I use the product 10 times. I also like that there is a number tied to the uses. It's just easier to keep track and know. I plan on keeping track in a bullet journal and just do straightforward like tally marks, and that'll be really easy for me to see automatically. Without further ado, let's get into the products that I'm picking for this project. I have two shadows that I'm picking out for this project. The Lorac shade. This is the color Delight. It's a really pretty color. It's like a purpley pinkish color. I don't want to say it's like a full duochrome, but there is definitely a shift there. So here I go with the swatches. I hope this comes out. And there is a little bit of a blue tinge to that, and I do want to get more use out of it because it does tend to sit around for quite some time without getting much use at all, and especially because it's colorful too, I tend to not reach for it as much. There are ways for me to use products like this in a way where I feel comfortable using it daily, so I'm gonna pull this in. I think it'll be really pretty. I just don't get enough use out of it, so now's the time, so I'm excited. And I also am pulling in this MAC shade called Top Hat. Yeah, this is definitely a more limited edition type of color. It's like part of one of those collections that they had back in the day. A violet blue shade, and it looks way prettier than it does on my hand. I can use this as a liner, maybe do a little wash of it on my lid, or a crease shade. There's a lot of options here with this. Heading towards the colder months, I think this will be really nice. Like the other shadow, it kind of just sits around most of the year unless I pull it in for a Shop My Stash, and it's been a really long time since I've used this. So I do want to see more usage out of that. This is a gel eyeliner pot. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Lacquer Liner. It's 24 hours, it says, and it comes in this type of container. I really like the packaging of this. It's just it has a nice little weight to it, and it just looks really sleek. This is a navy blue color. I always hesitate to use it for some reason. I think because I don't consider myself to be super clumsy with liners like this, but for some reason I think maybe the brush, it depends on the brush. You have to be kind of careful with this because it can get a little messy. I kind of remember this being a little bit smudgier than it's claiming to be. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's why we're doing this. I want to pull it in and really make a judgment call on it and see how I feel about it. It's still holding up pretty well. It doesn't look like it's drying out at all. Like, I've had this for years, and I can't say that about a lot of like gel cream type of products that I own. So that's something I can say about this. I think it's time to change it up because I'm sick of browns and I've been doing blacks, and it's time to pull out navy. So there we go. This NYX glitter primer. I barely wear glitter, but I do like that foiled look once in a while. Yet I never use this to make my eyes foiled, nor do I wet my brush. I never do it. So this has just been sitting around. Oh, I did have glitter that I used this with once, like for a wedding or something, but I never wear glitter. But I want to start using this more, even if it is just with regular eyeshadows, just to use it, because it literally just sits there. Like, I never get the use out of this that it needs to have for being in my collection. Like, when I put this on, it does feel a little wet, so I'm not used to that feeling. So it's a little like, oh, like I'm not used to that. I'm used to like a more dried matte effect with my eye primers. So maybe that's part of why I don't ever pull this out, but I'm making myself use it now. So I will report back. My only lip product that I'm pulling in for this, Clinique Black Honey. This is a popular product. It's one of their cult type of products. So it goes on way less dark than it appears in here. Not really a lip gloss, but more like a lip balm, but in a fancy lipstick tube. So I never really reached for this either. And again, this is also really old in my collection. I really do need to get more use out of this. And I don't really reach for this because of that kind of finish. If I'm gonna wear color on my lips, it's either gonna be like a lipstick or a pigmented lip gloss. There is no real in between. So I think that's why I never really reach for this. And it is supposed to be universal. Again, because it's not a straight up lipstick or a straight up gloss that's pigmented, I tend to kind of overlook it a lot. So for that reason, we're gonna pull this in and really focus on getting this used 10 times. This is a sample of the Everyday Minerals blush in the shade called Salon Fun. Really cool toned pink type of blush, and I did pull this in recently during a Shop My Stash a couple months back, but I do feel like I'm trying to decide if I want to keep this or not. It is one of those like sample sizes. The brand still exists, but this particular color does not. And I don't know, it's one of those products that I always think I really like, but then the last time I wore it, it wasn't as impressive as what I remembered it being. So I do really want to make a decision on this, and I may or may not, but I think wearing this 10 times will definitely either help me use it up at least. I don't know about use it up, but at least get a decent feel for it more than I did in the Shop My Stash. And yeah, I just feel like with blush, I don't like these little teeny tiny sample-y kind of things anymore. I just I just want like the full size of something I really like instead of like a little teeny tiny sample that just gets like lost in the shuffle and I forget about it and then I don't remember how it looks on me. So hopefully this Project 10 uses will help me understand this blush a little bit better again, and I don't know, just get some decent use out of it. I have this Nameless bronzer, and I think I got this as like a sample or part of a set on eBay years and years and years ago. And I really loved this at one point. I pulled it in for a Shop My Stash again a couple months back. Still never made up my mind about it, if I loved it the same or if I didn't. And honestly, like this blush and this bronzer, they're kind of a pain in the ass to apply because they come in little sifter jars and it just doesn't go on as evenly because the way you put your brush in it, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't go on evenly. Yeah, same thing as this. Like this is like a tiny little guy. It's like kind of like a sample size sort of, even though there's like a ton of product in here. I just want to know how I feel about it, and I don't like these little tiny containers floating around, especially when they're like brandless like this. Not that it's bad to not have a brand. I don't really care about that part. It's just one of those nondescript bronzers that again gets passed over because I have other ones in like proper packaging, I guess. And yeah, I think it's just time to make some decision about it. And I plan on using this as a blush and a bronzer, and I don't even think I showed you the actual color of it, but it's almost like this rusty color that looks really scary. But it's actually really pretty and can be very flattering, at least in the past when I used it. But it didn't really feel as impressive the last time that I used it. So hopefully, like the blush, we figure out what the heck is going on with this forsaken whatever bronzer. So I'm gonna use it different ways and see how I feel about it and decide if it's worth keeping or not. So pulling that guy in, and I just got bronzer all over my book. That concludes the intro of the Project 10 pan. I plan on updating every month, maybe month and a half, 2 months. We'll see how far it takes us, if I have any results in a month or a month and a half. But with all the other things I got going on. I hope you guys consider liking and subscribing to my channel. If you like makeup related stuff, especially if it has to do with like using up what you have. Don't really buy a ton of new stuff as much these days. Like fun makeup, if you will. I buy a lot of replacements for stuff and kind of try to keep it low-key these days with the amount of makeup I bring in, but I do love using what I do have. So if you're here for that, that's awesome. I hope you consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next video. See you later, guys. Bye.